Montana's only daily sports talk show, Nuanez Now. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
I like football!
Now here's your host, Coulter Nuanez.
What's up, Montana? Welcome in. 102.9 ESPN Radio. You're listening to Nuanez Now. I'm Coulter Nuanez coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company. Appreciate Grizzly Disposal. They are locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only Bears that should be in your garbage. Plenty to get to today. I say that every day. I hope I always have to say that, right? Actually, that's not true. I don't say that every day. There's going to be. I was thinking about this earlier today. There's going to be some times later on this summer where we have a ton to get to because I've come up with a ton of conversation topics, but we won't have actually like the breakneck pace of covering all this stuff. Here's the thing. I say this annually, but I'm going to keep on leaning back into it. First of all, we've gotten some feedback that I've been down a little bit on men's basketball in the Big Sky Conference, and it's true. I cannot deny it. But I also remind people that, especially for those of a certain age that have lived around Montana your whole life, Montana forever was a basketball state. Like all through the 1900s, the 20th century, all through the 20th century, Montana was a basketball state. Because what does every single little town in Montana have in it? Doesn't matter if it's Outlook or Sydney or Melstone or Scobie or Plentywood, Havre, Shoto, like everywhere has a basketball gym. At least one, if not several. And basketball was like the dominant form of entertainment, both at the high school and college levels in Montana for forever. And certainly there's always been good football in Montana too, but it was not so nationally prominent until the 90s, right? Like when the Grizz built Washington Grizzly Stadium, it really took off and then won the 95 national championship. That's when it really started to flip to football dominating everything. In the greater scheme of things, that's not that long, and I know we have a ton of listeners that have been around Montana for much longer than the last 30 years. So I like to always remind myself that, hey, you are doing the good deed. I know I've been a little bit down on Big Sky Conference men's basketball. It's also been hard because I travel a little bit for basketball in the season, but usually only one or two games, like one or two trips out of town, right? Mostly I'm just here in Missoula, Montana, so I head on down to the Dahlberg Arena every once in a while. Less often than I have in the past, though. And there's a reason for that, right? Like if the Lady Grizz, for example, this is just an example, if they're hosting Idaho or something, or hosting whomever, and let's say like Montana State has like a 1 versus 2 battle. Okay, so here's a good example. Montana's hosting Eastern Washington. Lady Grizz are. And Montana State's hosting Idaho. It is more beneficial for me to stay home and watch Idaho, Montana State, with also then keeping tabs on the Lady Grizz than it is to go to the Lady Grizz game. It's just been a whole different viewing experience. It's certainly been interesting to watch. And here's the thing. I've actually gone down to Dahlberg about 6 times so far this year. I've gone to almost as many high school games. That's been thoroughly entertaining. So that's all to say that even if I'm a little bit sour on Big Sky Conference men's basketball, I think the Women's League rocks. I know the Lady Grizz have had a hard year, but Montana State is awesome. They won again last night. That's a 23-win season for MSU. They did not get the conference title. They finished second, but 16-2 with a team that didn't even have a senior, that's pretty darn good. The Montana State men chased it all the way to the end. They won again last night in Flagstaff, but they fall a game short of the Big Sky title as well. But still a good winter overall for MSU. Outright second place in both the men's and the women's tournaments. The Lady Grizz actually fought hard last night. Thought that they were up against it against Northern Colorado, who's one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league. And they lost, but I do think that the fact they won on Saturday and then went down the wire on Monday, I don't know, maybe it's a silver lining. I really don't know how to diagnose that team anymore, other than I think that like I keep saying, it's got to win a game in the tournament and then turn the page. New chapter if you're Montana women's basketball. And then the men Grizz, man, I laid it on the men Grizz after what I thought was a very uninspiring and pretty disappointing effort at Weber State Saturday before last. Then they bounce back and they sweep Sac State and Portland State at home, and they look way better. And so yesterday, coming out of that Portland State win, I'm sitting here talking about how I still think the Grizz could be in the mix to win the tournament. I don't know now. They got waxed last night, 85-57. Absolutely run off the court. That's not good with the conference tournament on the horizon. Who do they play? Northern Colorado, the team they lost to last night by 28 points. I actually don't know if playing Northern Colorado again is a huge advantage or a huge disadvantage for the Grizz. I don't think they can play as poorly as they did last night, so maybe it's an advantage because it's an easy scout. You turn around, just get you guys to go hard. Two teams split during the regular season as well, so this is a rubber match. Travis DeCuire's great tournament coach. So, I mean, there's a lot that points towards still even having a lingering sense of belief about Montana men's basketball, but it's just been such a weird year. And you're just not used to seeing the Grizz hovering around 500. They got kind of stuck there, just right above 500 in the the middle part of the Travis DeCuire era, and so much of that was pandemic influenced. But then they found their way out, and they've won 20-something games the last couple of years. So it's just a weird year to think that, the league isn't very good, so then when the Grizz are also just mediocre within the league, it just doubles down, and you're like, wow, what is the quality right now of Big Sky Conference men's basketball? It's just weird to analyze. But that said, the regular season's over, and now we get to the fun part. We get to be in the tournament, right? Because here's the deal. I could be as down or up or whatever as I want on the actual state of the league. But again, the women's side is great. Montana State's going to be really fun to watch at the conference tournament. Maybe the Lady Grizz can earn some momentum going into the offseason, which is going to be an offseason of change. By the way, stay tuned. We're going to talk some prep hoops here in about 5 minutes, and I'm highlighting several future Lady Grizz because we continue to highlight them not only because of their future, but because of their present. Two of the best players in the state. So that's coming up here just a quick minute. But I am very excited about the Big Sky tournament because it really is going to be completely wide open. I truly think that basically any of the top 6 seeds could win this thing. So, and is Montana one of those as they go in as the 4 seed? I'm still trying to decide that, certainly. But the brackets are set. We know that the Lady Grizz play on Saturday, day 1. They play against Northern Arizona. That's at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's Saturday. The men's bracketing. So here's the matchups. Weber State plays Portland State to open the tournament. Northern Arizona plays Montana at 2:30. That's the first session of the women. The men's tournament is number 9 Idaho State versus number 10 Northern Arizona, and then number 7 Idaho versus number 8 Sac State. Then on Sunday, Idaho, who sewed up the outright Big Sky Championship last night, they had a nice win over Eastern Washington. They finished 17-1 and on a 15-game winning streak going into the Big Sky Conference tournament. Montana State is the defending champs in this tournament, but Idaho is the team to beat. That was a really impressive regular season. I mean, 26 wins, 17 conference victories. The Vandals have been tremendous in Arthur Marrera's second season at the helm. So the Idaho versus the winner of Weber and Portland State, that game's at noon. And then Montana State hosts the winner of NAU and Montana. So we could get a little rivalry on Sunday if the Lady Grizz can get a conference tournament win. So maybe that's something to look forward to if you are Nate Harris's crew at Montana. Then the men's second session Sunday includes Portland State, who beat Weber last night to sew up their outright Big Sky Championship. And the Vikings, the top-seeded Vikings, they await that Idaho State Northern Arizona winner, and then the winner of Idaho and Sac State, that's who plays the Cats on Sunday. Then at long last on Monday, you finally get the Grizz in the action and some of the other teams that are not those top 2 seeds. They want to give they have the top 2 seeds play Sunday, so they get a day of rest until Tuesday, so that is a big advantage. But Monday's bracket looks like this: Idaho State women versus Sac State, Northern Colorado women versus Eastern Washington, and then the men's side, Montana versus Northern Colorado. That's at 5:30 p.m. On Monday, and then Eastern Washington versus Weber State at 8 p.m. That rounds out Monday. Tuesday, then that's when it gets all wonky depending on who beats who. So there you go. We'll give you those times a little bit more concisely, but the Big Sky Tournament is right around the corner. A week from today, we will be in Boise, Idaho, covering this thing. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. Colter Nuanez coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal Studio. Grizzly Disposal has roll-off boxes for your construction project. They can get them to you fast, 24 hours or less. Visit grizzlydisposal.com or call 406-541-7171. 24-hour turnaround times, and it is tournament time, and a commitment to saying what they're going to do. Locally owned, veteran-owned Grizzly Disposal, the only bears that should be in your garbage. Let's roll into a Prep Extra, presented by Farmers State Bank. The other pairings that are out are the state AA pairings. So we're back to play-in games. Round and round we go. It's hard to keep up with. Forever, it was always play-in games to get into the Class AA state tournament. Then they went to a divisional format. Then they backed out of the divisional format. Now we're back to play-in games. So here's where we're at with AA. The top two teams in the East, the top two teams in the West, boys and girls each get buys to state. So that's 2 from the East, 2 from the West on the boys and girls sides, 8 total teams. From the eastern side, here's the teams that get buys. The Billings West boys are the top seed, and the Great Falls CMR boys are second. The Bozeman Gallatin girls, the defending state champs, and the only undefeated team left in Class AA, boys or girls, they're number 1. They get a bye, and then the West girls are number 2. In the Western AA, the Sentinel boys are number 1. The Hellgate boys are number 2. Sentinel sewed up the conference championship before they played Hellgate on Friday, but then Hellgate went to Sentinel's gym and beat them. Get a little retribution because Sentinel won at Hellgate this year. So that was a great back and forth. I think the juxtaposition between those two teams is utterly fascinating. I mean, you got a Sentinel team that has Lincoln Rogers, who's one of the most fun players to watch that I've seen in a couple years in the state. He wheels and deals. He's a 6'8" dude who can play out on the perimeter. He can shoot it. He can score at all 3 levels. He's explosive. But he also has this supporting cast. I mean, a couple of the top assist guys in the state both play for Sentinel, so they move the ball well. They have a couple of the best shooters in the state from the three-point line, so all those things help. And they have like a very flashy, yet also polished style. Hellgate is uber polished. They are regimented, they are disciplined, and they don't have like a superstar. They just have a whole bunch of good players. I mean, Zane Gillhouse is he's going to be a first-team All-State type of guy. So, I mean, they do have a headliner for sure. And they have 2 future Grizz football players in Evan Pyron and Parker Link. So Hellgate has dudes. They actually have a whole bunch of really good athletes. They just don't have like that centerpiece like Rogers, but that's the juxtaposition, right? You got I'm not going to call Rogers a one-man show because his supporting cast is great. And that's why Sentinel is the number 1 seed out of the West. But he is the focal point, right? Hellgate, any number of 6 or 7 guys can rise up and get you. So the fact those two teams traded during the regular season, interesting, and the fact that they are the 2 teams that are representing the Western AA out of the boys' side, getting by as a state, also cool. That's a big win for Hellgate. That's basically winning a play-in game because then you save yourself from having to play a play-in game. So pretty cool for the Knights. On the girls' side, Western AA, Missoula Big Sky has been the top team, and that remains true. They went undefeated in Western AA play. That's exceptional. Great job by them. But it's been, between the two, it's been a whole bunch of teams flirting with that, but primarily Hellgate and primarily Butte. Well, Butte's the one that got it done, and they're the 2 seed. So Cadence Graham and the Bulldogs get their bye to state as well. So here's what the play-in games look like out east. In Billings, this is on Thursday. All the playing games for Double A is on Thursday. In Billings, the number 6 Bozeman girls play at number 3 Billings Senior. That's at 5 p.m. And then number 5 Billings Skyviews boys play at number 4 Billings Senior. That's at 7 p.m. In Great Falls, the number 5 Skyview girls play at number 4 Great Falls CMR at 6 p.m. And in Bozeman, the number 6 Bozeman boys play at number 3 Gallatin at 6 p.m. So you got a crosstown in Bozeman for the one of the seeds to go to Double A tournament out of the East. In the West, the games are like this. On Wednesday, Sentinels girls will play at Hellgate, so there's a crosstown there. Helena's girls will play Helena Capital, and Helena's boys will play Helena Capital. So that's a double dip, a crosstown doubleheader in the capital city. That'll be fun on Thursday. And by the way, the Sentinel Hellgate game is on Wednesday in Missoula. That's at Hellgate. And then Thursday, Big Sky's boys, they're the 6th seed. They play at Butte. See if Hudson Lutke and the crew can get their way to that Double-A state tournament. Prep Extra, probably presented by Farmers State Bank. Make the switch to Farmers State Bank, and you can instantly become part of something bigger, something different, something more. That's because they're a community bank. That means local banking, local decision-making, local support for people, businesses, and communities you care about. Switch to local. Switch to Farmers State Bank. Your Montana bank since 1907 and an equal housing lender, member FDIC. We are about halfway to fill in the state tournament fields. We had several of the Class C divisional tournaments. 3 out of the 4, so we're still waiting on one of those. We had all the Class B district tournaments last week. The Eastern A divisional tournament was last week on the girls' side, but we still await the rest of Class A. We still await the Double-A play-in games, and I think we have to have the divisional tournaments all across Class B. So still 2 weeks out from the state tournament, but certainly there's a lot of fun players to watch. Here are a collection of players that I certainly will have my eyes on that I think can lead their respective teams on postseason runs here. Number 1, we've talked about her a ton this year, but she is the best player on the best team in the state. There's only one Double-A team left that's undefeated, and that's the Bozeman Gallatin girls. They're not just unbeaten. They are the defending state champs. They did it last year with an unbelievable junior class leading the way, spearheaded by Jada Davis. She went over 1,500 points earlier this year. She's only the 3rd Class AA player to ever do that. She is a straight bulldog. I mean, she is aggressive on offense. She's even more aggressive on defense. Love the way she plays. And they have some other great players. I mean, Ava Odegaard is she's a D1 player as well. She's headed to St. Mary's. Jada Davis, by the way, headed to Eastern Washington. And I just think that she's the one that's the leader. She's the one that's going to carry Gallatin to a repeat if they do go on a repeat. Standing in her way, I think the other player to watch in the Double-A tournament, and certainly there's a ton of players to watch, right? I think that Billings West has a great squad in girls basketball. I think Maddie Keese has done a really good job with the Missoula Hellgate girls. I think they have a whole bunch of great athletes that have become a good basketball team. But the best player in the West is the young lady who gives Big Sky a fighting chance. That's Avery DeCoy. We've talked about her a lot on this show. She is a senior there at Big Sky. She's headed to Lady Grizz next year. But she's been a dynamo. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but she suffered a bad knee injury, and that cost her. It was 2 years ago because it was when she was a sophomore because State was in Missoula. And you have to wonder what would have happened with that Big Sky team. They did fine at State, but they did not go on the run they maybe anticipated going on. That team was led by Cadence Couture, who was a senior that year. She now plays at Montana State. But DeCoy came back, and she was a little bit late to come back last year, but then came back full force this year. And she's been unbelievable. She's averaging 22.4 points per game. That's tops in Double-A. She's averaging more than 4 assists a game as well. And that's all pales in comparison to how good she is defensively. Here's the deal. I think it's a great get for Lady Grizz, period, because you got a high-caliber, local gal. Her dad, Dave DeCoit, played for the Grizz. So you got all those connections. But also, if you were in Montana, you had to get her because you can't let Montana State have a player like that. It's not that she's so good. She is very good. But it's that if you paired her with how she plays and how fast she is with Taylor Chirick at Montana State, game over. Like, woof. You're up against it. That is a fearsome front two on the press. So it's a good gift for the Lady Grizz. But I think DeCoy gives Big Sky a chance to make a run. It's been a little while since the team from the West. I guess Hellgate went on their run to the state championship game 2 years ago. But it's been a minute since there was a Missoula team that took home a state championship. I don't know if Big Sky can do it. It seems like Gallatin's a team of destiny. But if they can do it, Avery DeCoit's the young lady that's going to give her team a fighting chance. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. I'm Colter Nuanez. Other players that I have my eye on, none of these are foreign names. The girls' basketball players in Montana right now are unbelievable, and there's been a group of about 10 of them that we've talked about quite a bit. Like, there's just no debate that they're all just straight Division I, including Mason Quinn in Frenchtown. Frenchtown sort of hovered right there. The East and the A has gotten all the headlines because you got Billings Central, the defending champs. You got Hardin, who's been an upstart. And you have Havre, who's been a perennial dynasty. Those are three of the top 4 ranked teams in the state. But Frenchtown has the player that can take over a game, and Mason Quinn's made runs at state tournaments before. Now she's a senior, so you wonder what she can accomplish. She's averaging almost 25 points per game. She chose Boise State over a variety of other options. I just think that she is as tough of a guard as you're going to find in Montana. I mean, she is as tough to guard, and she's as tough of a guard. Both of those things are true. But she's been lights out so far for Frenchtown. And if you wonder if they're just sort of lurking in the weeds, maybe can rise up and snap somebody. We'll see. Standing in the way is several really good teams, though, including Havre and Hardin, but Billings Central is the team to beat. They're the 2-time defending state champs. They have a whole bunch of gals that were on last year's state championship team, and they got it done in a slugfest Eastern A championship game that might be a tournament game preview over the weekend. And Cameron Riker, who's also a future Lady Grizz, she led the day. She had 14 points down the stretch in the fourth quarter. She finished with 23 points in a game where her team, Billings Central, only scored 46. So she had exactly half their points. And I just think that she is another player that's going to make an instant impact for the Lady Grizz next year, but I think she has bigger goals this year. That's the thing. That's what makes sports cool, right? That's how we hate when all these guys, when players at the collegiate level leave before we get to see the end of the story. Or when their stop at Montana State is the end of their story. That's cool. That's fine. There's just not as much time to get to know somebody from an athlete perspective. So Jada Davis, senior. Avery DeCoit, senior. Cameron Riker, senior. Mason Quinn, senior. How are you going to go out? Can you go out on top? Madison O'Connor, senior, from Baker. She's another one on this list. We talk about it all the time, but I'm just going to keep talking about her because I think she's that good. B is going to be fascinating because last year it was so star-studded. This year it still is. Paige Loafing is over at Gonzaga now, but you still got Madison O'Connor and Baker. They're undefeated. You got Spencer Laird at Loyola, the Stanford commit. They're rolling. They just beat Florence in the district championship game in Anaconda. So that tournament's going to be fascinating. And Class C is going to be fascinating because Denton, Geyser, Geraldine, and Stanford, that co-op, they've been so good. They're 23-0. They've dispatched of Millstone 3 times now. Millstone's one of the other top teams in Class C. But I'm just wondering about the Chester girls. I keep hearing more and more and more, the rumblings about Bryn Camerzell, the junior there at Chester High School. She goes to Chester. She plays for CJI. I've heard she's a real deal. I know that the Cats are on her. They're recruiting her. So can she rise up and lead Chester on a run? That'd be pretty interesting. That'd be pretty fascinating. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Players to watch throughout the state of Montana with the state tournament just around the corner. On the boys' side, Hudson Lutke's got to get there, but they have a home game against Big Sky later on this week. So if Butte High can get there, Lutke's certainly one of the players to watch. He's averaging almost 25 points per game, 5.5 assists. He's shooting 50% from the floor, 40% from three. He had the slump game in Missoula against Sentinel, and he's been fire ever since then. So he's certainly one to watch. We talked about Lincoln Rogers earlier. What else can you say? He's averaging 25 points per game. He leads the state in steals and blocks. So he's done it all for the Spartans. He's got him as the number one seed. Can Sentinel capture it? That'd be pretty crazy. Sentinel has had as much elite basketball talent as anybody in the state, not just in the city of Missoula, in the state. In my time paying attention to it, so over the last 30 years, and they don't have a state championship. So that certainly, if Sentinel could bring one home, that'd be pretty darn cool. I also got my eye on Hank Smith out in Frenchtown. He's a junior. He is a specimen. He's about 6'6", 230. He can really move. He's had some huge dunks lately in games. He's going for about 25 a game himself. So certainly he's one to watch. The Bronx also might be primed to make a run. I'm so fascinated to see how that Western A tournament shakes out. Butte Central is very good. You know Dillon is going to show up come around tournament time. Frenchtown is very good. So it's going to be fascinating to see. I think it's probably going to come down to Central and Frenchtown. So how does that matchup play out? That'll certainly be fun to watch. Lodge Grass, I'm interested in watching their whole team. I love the way that they play. They're one of the favorite teams to turn on when you're watching the stream. They get up and down, they run a gun, and nobody's touched them yet. They're 21-0 coming into the Class B. I guess they're still going into divisionals, but they've been able to survive without a loss thus far. TJ Grovot, probably the number one player to watch for Lodge Grass, but he's certainly a fun one. One of the best players from Lodge Grass now plays at Billings Central, and they also have a complete team that has a whole bunch of guys that are really fun to watch. Familiar names like William Snell, who's coming to the Grizz to play football, Howie Martin, who's going to Tech to play football. He was the quarterback on their state championship football team and also played on their state championship baseball team. So Central's got a lot of guys that are worth watching, including Toby Stewart, who transferred from Lodge Grass this last offseason. In the Class C, it's John Carney. He's the number one guy to watch. He's from Scobie. He's got him unbeaten. He's putting up over 20 a game. He's been very, very explosive. And you can tell watching Scobie that he's just sort of the centerpiece for them. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. On the Class C note, we will come back and keep it there, give you the updates from the divisional tournaments, and give you some of the best in terms of individual performances from that level. That's on the other side. Don't change it down. Keep it right here, 102.9 ESPN Radio.
Buzzing, flowers blooming, snow melting, and spring cleaning or updating? Liberty Electric is here for any and all of your electrical needs, no matter the season. Whether you're looking to upgrade your air conditioner for the summer, invest in a backup generator for those powerless nights due to storms, or need that lighting upgraded to LED, the professionals at Liberty Electric are ready to offer their services. Call 406-541-WIRE. That's 406-541-9473.
Missoula, get ready for a massive weekend of conference lacrosse. Your University of Montana lacrosse team is defending home turf at Washington Grizzly Stadium. It all starts Friday night at 6 as the Grizz battle Gonzaga under the lights. Then action continues Saturday at noon against Central Washington and wraps up Sunday at high noon with another huge conference showdown against Idaho. General admission tickets are available at the gate, and University of Montana students get in free. Feel the intensity, bring the noise, go Grizz.
The wait is over. Grizzly Disposal is now offering no-sort recycling. No more sorting and dragging it across town. They'll get it right from your house. Cans, cardboard, and plastic all in one bin. Handled by Grizzly Disposal. Visit grizzlydisposal.com to add on recycling to your plan or to switch over to Grizzly Disposal today. Give them a call, 541-7171. That's 541-7171. The best trash removal service in town just got better. Grizzly Disposal, the only bears that should be in your garbage.
You've been dreaming about a sandwich from Tagliari Deli all day. Why continue to torture yourself by waiting even longer? If you order online or call ahead, Tagliari Delicatessen will have the best sandwich in the Treasure State ready for you upon arrival. To place an order, visit TagliariDelicatessen.com or give Tagliari a call at 406-830-3049. Tagliari has been named Montana's best deli by the Food Network and best sandwich by People Magazine. Why wait? Order Tagliari Deli ahead of time today.
You might be thinking, what's the big deal about a kids menu? Well, once you have kids, you know. It seems like it's getting harder and harder to find kid-friendly meals at affordable prices. At Paradise Falls, the kids menu is not only diverse, it's a total steal. For some of the cheapest prices in town, you can get hamburgers, mac and cheese, and other kid favorites for super low prices. Paradise Falls is a family-friendly restaurant open 7 days a week. Come enjoy a meal with your kiddos in Paradise at Paradise Falls, 3621 Brook Street, Missoula's coolest hotspot.
Saturday, March 7th is Fight Night in Missoula as Fusion Fight League takes over the Adams Center. It's a stacked card featuring bare-knuckle brawls, multiple pro fights, and amateur titles on the line. Plus a lot of local talent ready to put on a show. You want in? Text 406-888-1029 anytime for your chance to win a pair of tickets. Don't miss it. Text now and be there for Fusion Fight League action.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The Vikings and the Vandals showed up outright Big Sky Conference Championships on Monday night as both league title races came down to the wire. Hello, I am Hayden Smith. In Big Sky Conference women's basketball, Idaho showed up at least a share of the Big Sky title with a win on Saturday. But the Vandals needed Monday's 75-64 win over Eastern Washington to secure the outright conference crown and the number one seed at next week's conference tournament. The Vandals head to Boise riding a 15-game winning streak. Idaho finished 17-1 in league play, a game ahead of defending champion Montana State. The Bobcats finished at 16-2 after a 66-48 win over Northern Arizona. Taylor Church racked up 7 steals in the victory to tie the Big Sky single-season record with 124 thefts this year. In Big Sky men's hoops, Portland State snapped a 3-game losing streak with an 84-60 home win over Weber State. The Vikings finished 13-5 in league play ahead of Montana State. The Bobcats won 76-65 at Northern Arizona to make PSU's nightcap interesting. The Montana men got drilled on Monday night, coming out on the wrong end of an 85-57 loss to Northern Colorado. That means the Grizz and Northern Colorado play on Monday at the Big Sky Tournament at 5:30 p.m. Montana State's men await the winner of Idaho and Sac State on Sunday. The Montana State women play Sunday against the winner of Northern Arizona and Montana. And the Lady Grizz get the 8th seed after a 59-57 loss to Northern Colorado Monday at home.
It's Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
Welcome back, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. If you're watching on any of the video stuff and I look just terrible, well, I have a head cold. You can tell by how I sound. Thank the chicken does no sports. Have you heard? I actually hate when people do that. We live in the world. Like, I'm around all sorts of people all the time. So I hate when actually people blame you for getting them sick. So I take back what I just said. But I do just have a head cold. I mean, who knows where it came from. But right eye is watering a little bit. Voice doesn't sound as, pitch perfect as I wish it did. But we forge on. So, getting through it. But actually, how I feel is fine. I just know I don't sound as good as I possibly could. So don't cry for me, Argentina. We're all good. Let's dive into a Class C spotlight. How can Wayne Dalton Sales and Services offer you affordable and durable garage doors that increase the value of your home with factory pricing? because Wayne Dalton Sales and Services is the factory. So you get direct factory pricing from the most reputable garage door companies around. Call Wayne Dalton Sales and Services today at 406-510-1899 or visit wayne-dalton.com/Missoula. Northern C Championship game for seeding at state. Number 2 Belt took down number 4. This is boys. CJI. That's a good win by Belt. They've sort of flown under the radar because they had a loss earlier this year, even though Scobie remained undefeated. St. Regis was undefeated until the divisional tournament. More on that in just a minute. But Belt maintains their number 2 ranking, and they're certainly going to be a contender when they get to state. And CJI, they still go to state even with the loss. In the Southern C, Winnett Grass Range, no trouble with Roy Winifred, 64-41. The Rams were 6th in the state last week in the Class C polls, so no surprise there. Wyatt Melton, 24 points for Wyatt Melton and 22 points for Jace Bantz as Winnett Grass Range wins the Southern C Championship of boys basketball. Then the Western C, Manhattan Christian takes home the title. That's not that crazy, but it is a bit of an upset compared to who was favored going in. St. Regis didn't have a loss, but then they lost to Manhattan Christian in the semis. Manhattan Christian then moved on and beat West Yellowstone 51-39. So good win for them, and they've been hot lately to get into this position. At St. Regis, they had to fight their way back, but they didn't. They won a couple loser-out games, including a third-place game against Sealy Swan, 59-55. Connor Lillis, 21 points. Isaac Kelly, 20 points. As St. Regis survives and gets through. You never want to suffer your first and only loss, at least so far, in the postseason. But if you do, and it doesn't end your season, that's new life, and then you got to capitalize on that. So good bounce back for the St. Regis boys. Class C Spotlight, probably presented in part by Valley Christian School. If you're looking for an education that builds strong minds and strong character, Valley Christian School offers biblical-based learning from a 3-year-old preschool through 12th grade. Students grow academically, socially, and spiritually every day. At Valley Christian, students experience a diverse curriculum paired with extracurriculars, athletics, and opportunities to serve. With small class sizes and dedicated teachers, Valley Christian is a place where families belong and kids thrive. Visit valleychristian.org to learn more or to schedule a tour. Class C girls, CJI got it done. That was probably the game of the week. They were number 3 last week. Chester Joplin Inverness was. They beat Belt 56-45. So they take good standing into state. We talked about Bryn Camerzell. She had 21 points to lead the Hawks. So they go in with quite a bit of momentum into the state tournament here in Missoula in 2 weeks. North Star beat Box Elder 53-28, so they remain alive to repeat. They've won 3 in a row at the Class C level. They're not as strong as they have been, but still a testament to their program to be able to win that game and get back to the state tournament, so good job by them. In the Southern C, Denton Geyser Stanford Geraldine still undefeated. Their 3rd win this year over Millstone. Millstone only has 3 losses, so you got to feel bad for them. But this was 1 versus 4, and DGSG won 54-39. To stay undefeated. In the 3rd place game in the Southern C, Custer Hysham Rosebud beats Harleton Rygate Judith Gap 45-33. Then the Western C on the girls' side, Drummond's still undefeated, so they certainly take a lot of juice. Remington Klein is another player you got to watch out for. I think that's certainly a player to watch. If she led Drummond's girls on a deep run, that would not surprise me at all. 23 in a row now for the Trojans after their 61-51 win over West Yellowstone. And then in the 3rd place game, Shields Valley beats Manhattan Christian's girls 44-36. So we'll let you know about those brackets when we can. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. We'll take a break right here and then come back, and we'll have 2 things for you. Treasure State Stars, highlighting some of the best individual performances from all the different district and divisional tournaments that aren't Class C. And we'll have an interview about one of the most anticipated and beloved events in Missoula, the Riverbank Run, hosted by the YMCA. Carrie McHugh from the Y swung by later on last week, so we just want to get you the information on that. So it's out there, so you can start training for the Riverbank Run. So all that next. Don't change that out. Keep it right here. It's 129 ESPN Radio. The Press Box is the place to watch all your favorite sports. In the heart of Grizz Country, Press Box has great food and drinks with happy hour and lunch specials every weekday. Don't forget, Press Box has the best happy hour deal in town, Monday through Friday, between 4 and 6, $3 draft beers. That's right, any draft beer at the Press Box, from domestic light beers to IPAs to everything in between, $3 drafts between 4 and 6, Monday through Friday at the Press Box. Press Box also has 2 sports bet machines, so you can always get your bets in before the game starts. The Press Box on Broadway and Van Buren in Missoula.
What do we Missoulians do best? We support our local stores. What do Palmer's and Lolo Drug do best? They provide the best in local pharmacy for our community. Palmer's Drug and Lolo Drug are the alternatives to big box chain pharmacies. Expect short wait times, free medication shipping, and friendly service. Palmer's Drug at 918 Southwest Higgins is the most convenient way to get your prescriptions in the Garden City. And if you're passing through Lolo, swing by Lolo Drug right off of Highway 93. Palmer's Drug and Lolo Drug, come discover what local pharmacy can do for you.
Black Mountain Lawn and Landscaping offers comprehensive yard care services, including lawn mowing, planting, irrigation, landscaping, waterfalls, and hardscaping with a focus on paver patios. Black Mountain Lawn and Landscaping offers customized lawn care programs to revitalize and rejuvenate your lawn to get your landscape beds and gardens ready for the season. Free estimates on sprinkler systems and lawn mowing and yard care services. Visit blackmountainlandscaping.com, call 406-529-0793, or email dave@blackmountainlawns.com.
It's tournament time. Buzzer beaters, underdog stories, and the best deals at Bob Ward's. Get off the couch and into the game at Montana's oldest sporting goods retailer. Baseball gloves, bats and cleats, soccer balls, shin guards, and training gear. Whether you're cutting down nets or cutting across the outfield, Bob Ward's has the gear you need. Discounts on top name brands across every department. Savings in camping, fishing, and everything outdoors. Don't miss your shot. Shop Bob Ward's, sports and outdoors, Montana style.
Over 20 years ago, Farmer State Bank pledged to fund a $10,000 scholarship in each community where we're located. We've grown, and that promise has grown with us. This year, Farmer State Bank will award 9 $10,000 scholarships to qualifying high school seniors. That's community banking, supporting the people and places we call home. Bank with us, and you're part of this too. Farmer State Bank, your Montana bank since 1907, member FDIC.
You already know Tagliari Delicatessen has the best sandwiches in all of Montana. Heck, even People Magazine and the Food Network say so. But Tagliari Deli has more than just the most delicious sandwiches this side of the Mississippi. Stop into the shop on the corner of Beckwith and Higgins to check out all they have to offer. Tagliari takes pride in offering the best selection of imported Old World wines that are sure to please a variety of palates. Pair the wine with a sandwich, a cheese and meat plate, or both. Stop in to Tagliari Deli today.
This is Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Radio Missoula.
We're back, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. Colter Nuanez coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company. Let's do a Treasure State Star, some of the best individual performances from around the state of Montana. Number 1, Kyle Bachmeyer, Helena Capital Boys basketball. He had 21 points. Kalispell drilled Glacier 62-43. We highlight that because that basically extended Capital's season. It secured the 5 seed for them. They're into the play-in. They'll have a chance to go to state. Treasure State Star number 2, Ty Sidorovich from Helena High. Same deal. Solidified a spot for the Bengals in the play-in round. By the way, that's going down Friday. Helena girls play at Helena Capital at 6 p.m. And then on the boys' side, Helena, excuse me, I misspoke. I said Capital got the 5. Helena got the 5. Capital got the 4, but they're playing each other. And it was, at least in part, because of the wins that they had on Saturday night in their season finale. Tice Todorovich had 21 points to lead the way for the Bengals as they drilled Flathead 63-40. Also fascinating is how many people are up in the Flathead now and how good they are in most of the sports and how they're not very good in basketball. That is just really interesting. And maybe it's just a blip in the radar. Maybe it's just, that time right now. That's what makes high school sports great. You never know when you're going to have a special athlete that comes through, but also it's when it's tough, when you have like a dearth of athletes that are just in your district or whatever. So I just don't know what the diagnosis is there. It's just interesting to have none of the Kalispell teams even close to being competitive for state. It's just weird. Thursday star number 3. The whole Billings Central boys team. They put 6 guys in double figures. There was no actual individual players that were cited in the recap that I found, but they win the Eastern A championship on the boys' side, 67-42 over Glendive, and they're rolling. Ever since they beat Lockwood, they've just been off to the races. So great job by Central. They look like the team to beat yet again. They're in Class A. Lockwood bounced back after they lost to Central. They also bounced back after they lost in the semifinals of the Eastern A tournament. They beat Miles City in the third place game, 62-41. Both those teams go into state, but it helps Lockwood get a little bit better of a seeding, and it's always good to go into state with a victory. Kobe Blake led the way for the Lions with 16 points. Sheriff State star number 5, similar deal with the girls' side with the Helena teams. Helena High, Helena Capital each needed wins to assure, guarantee that they were going into the play-in round. The Bengals got it thanks to 20 points from Lauren Lieberg. They beat Flathead 47-35, and Helena Capital, they beat Glacier 50-40 behind 18 points from A.B. Mergenthaler. Sheriff State Stars represented by Parkside Credit Union. The best place in western Montana to get a loan because Parkside Credit Union loves to say yes. Sheriff State star number 7. This is a great name. Kendi Ollinger Calf Boss Ribs. She is from Browning, 25 points to lead the Indians to a Western A play-in game. So they're now into the Western A tournament, and that was a 68-49 win for Browning. Girls hoops on the Class A side. Cameron Riker, we already highlighted her earlier, but she had 14 of the final 16 points of the game for Billings Central against Havre, and Central outlasted Havre 44-36. That's number 1 versus number 2 in Class A girls basketball. So great job by the Rams. They are, again, you're going to keep on hearing this. In Class A sports, Billings Central is basically the team to beat in all of it. Not wrestling necessarily, which just completed with Sydney getting back on top of their dynasty train, but almost everything else: boys basketball, girls basketball, baseball, swimming, football. They're dominant right now in so many different sports. And the girls looking for a three-peat. And Cameron Riker, 23 points, helped them to that 44-36 win over Havre. Hardin's also in. No individual stats to report off of that one, but just wanted to get that result in. The Hardin girls beat Laurel 80-42 in the third place game of the Eastern A. Tri-State star number 10, the O'Connor sisters. We talked about them a bunch. We'll keep on talking about them because they just stuffed the stat sheet. Masson had 26 points and 12 rebounds. Avery had 20 points and 8 rebounds. Baker smokes Huntley Project in the district championship game, 65-29. So they remain undefeated, and they take a head of steam into the divisional. Church State star number 11, Spencer Laird. We talked about her earlier too, but we got to keep highlighting it. A monster game in a rivalry game to win the district tournament. Laird had 30 points, but she leads Loyola to a 62-57 win over Florence Carlton. A little bit of redemption. The only loss for the Breakers so far this year was to Florence, but they beat them twice in a row now, and Laird's going to be pretty hard to overcome now that it's the postseason. The Stanford-bound junior continues to dominate. And finally, Charter State star number 12, a pair of hoopers from Montana State. The regular season completed in the Big Sky Conference last night. They released the league's Players of the Week earlier today, and each of them were Bobcats. Jed Miller from the Montana State men, Taylor Chirick for the Montana State women. For Miller, it's his third Player of the Week so far this year. I think he's going to be for sure a first or second team all-conference type of guy. Maybe he if the Cats win the league, he's a first-team All-League guy. The fact they finished second might keep him off that first-team All-League, just depending on how many players the Portland State gets on. Like, do they decide it's just one point guard, or do they just do guards, or is it going to be 5 players plus the MVP? There's a lot of delineating factors. I think Jed Miller, though, deserves first-team All-Conference. He's been as good as it gets for Montana State this year. It's one of the greatest breakout years I can remember in the Big Sky. It's certainly one of the best stories going right now in Montana. On the women's side, Chiric is not a surprise whatsoever. She's the best athlete in the conference, pound for pound, in my opinion. I think she is the most fluid, graceful, and explosive athlete that plays sports in the Big Sky Conference right now, especially team sports like ball sports. I mean, I'm not saying she can beat Taco Dowler in a race, but proportionally, when we're talking about the sport that they play, I mean, Taylor Church, one of the fastest players ever in the Big Sky Conference, and her hands, her knack for the ball, the way she watches the ball, the way she hunts the ball on defense is truly second to none. And if you don't believe me, just look at the stats. She had 7 steals last night as Montana State beat Northern Arizona, and that helped her tie the Big Sky single-season record for steals in a year. It ties Liz Holtz, who did it way back in the early 1990s. And I just can't believe that. Chiric gets so many steals, it's almost hilarious to watch her play because they just come in so much abundance. Her motor and her endurance is just unreal. I just can't imagine someone 30-something years ago having as many steals as Chiric has. Like, it is such an anomaly in the modern game, let alone back then. It's just wild to think that she still needs one more steal to hold that record. She's only tied it. 127 steals in a single year it's a stunning number. It's definitely impressive. Treasure State Stars probably presented by Parkside Credit Union, a great place in western Montana because Parkside Credit Union loves to say yes. Whenever we can, we like to highlight events that are happening around the community. One of Missoula's most beloved events takes place in April. Carrie McHugh from the YMCA swung by to tell us more.
Nuanez Now, ESPN Radio, and another one of our annual occurrences. We seem to sit down with the Riverbank Run folks whenever this comes around. One of the great events that happens in Missoula, sort of an ushering in of spring, and Carrie McHugh in studio with us to talk about it on behalf of the YMCA. Carrie, thanks for being here. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. My favorite time of year.
Yeah, indeed. Well, first of all, you've been doing this for a little while. What is this? This is the 54th overall?
54th annual YMCA Riverbank
Well, that's
Run.
Pretty sweet to have something that sustains for that long. How many of these for you now in your
This is, I believe, my, let's see here, 15th, I think, as race director.
Nice. So what's your favorite part about the Riverbank Run?
My absolute favorite is to see the variety of folks that come out for the event. Mm-hmm. So you've got, little kids that are just so hyped to be there, energy through the roof. Then you have people that this is their first official chip time race, whether they're doing the 10, the 5K, or the 1 mile. They're very excited, a little nervous. And then you have your seasoned runners that are just ready to tear up the course, full tilt,
Well, that's part of the thing that we always like to promote is that this is not just for those people, right? This is not just for, because it can be a little bit intimidating. There are some crazy good runners in Missoula and in Montana, but this is for everybody, not just the elite of the elite, right?
Yes. We like to say that this can be everybody's first race, and it's, like you said, kind of ushers in springtime. It's the first one. We see a lot of people that use it to train for other events like the marathon, the Missoula Marathon, and so it really can be something for everybody.
How have you seen this grown over the years?
We've actually been really lucky. We've grown about a couple hundred people over the last 5 years, and so we're sitting around 2,500 runners that come out for this event.
Super cool. What do you think that's a testament to?
I think that it's open to everybody, and I think there's a distance for everybody, and I think that we provide great access. So we help out with scholarships if kids need it, and I think it's a really fun event. It's a well-organized event that's safe, but then on top of it, it's really fun.
Well, very cool. Carrie McHugh from the YMCA in here, studio with us on Nuanez Now. Have you seen an uptick in just fitness in general?
I think Missoula has become an official running community.
It's true.
Yeah.
Missoula's always been a fit town, but it seems like everybody's up their game a lot.
Next level, I think Run Wild does a great job. Yeah. Runner's Edge, which also supports this race. Everybody kind of supports that running community, regardless of your level of physical fitness, and they really encourage people to try running.
what else do people need to know about this? By the way, it's April 25th this year, so we got a little while here, but certainly get ahead of it, sign up, et cetera, et cetera. So just let people know, like, what other things do they need to know just in terms of being a part of this?
Yeah, I think it's better to sign up a little earlier so you kind of start your training and start thinking about it. But, last minute, we do have people that sign up day of.
Man, I
late registration.
I had a friend last year that did the half marathon without training. I was like, dude, why are you doing this?
Why?
And then he was ruined for like weeks afterwards. I was like, dude, you gotta do a little bit of prep here.
He probably got through it just fine, but the recovery wasn't the piece that was looking good.
Yeah, so this is a good way to sort of give yourself a little kickstart and get training for this.
Get training, and you save a little bit of money because you do it before late registration, which kicks in mid-April. The race is on a Saturday, which is kind of nice, middle of the weekend, April 25th. And our first race doesn't start till 9 a.m., so you get to sleep in a little bit.
Yep.
Come out and get prepared for, all prepared and good to go.
Well, if you're not participating, you guys are also looking for volunteers, right?
Absolutely.
So what does that entail?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. We obviously want everybody to run, but we are so lucky to have volunteers cheering people on. But your main kind of thing is just helping keep that whole course safe. You're kind of the wayfinding, helping runners see where to go, cheer them on. We usually give you a stop sign and a vest or hand out water. It just adds to the feel of Missoula. It's a very supportive community, so we love our volunteers.
This supports a great cause too. So tell people just what is the funds that you guys raise from this? What does it go to?
Yeah, and a fundraiser, and we actually fundraise this event, but we're very lucky at the YMCA. We can scholarship anything we do, from swim lessons to summer camp to childcare, and this race allows us to support that program. All the runner fees go to support scholarships and financial assistance at the YMCA.
Well, very cool, and it's so important for this, especially for the kids, right? I mean, I think you guys probably have plenty of information and studies that have been done on if kids get into activities, extracurriculars, fitness, all that sort of stuff at a young age.
I think building that self-confidence in young people and letting them know that they are capable of doing a real chip time race is one of our favorite things about this event. And the other piece is a lot of times they bring their adult with them. So gets mom and dad going too, which we love.
So 1 mile, 5K, 10K, right?
Yep.
And you can do all three if you're crazy, right?
If you want to go beast mode, just go for it. We do have the trifecta where you end up running a little over 10 miles. That's the race a lot of people use to train for the half and the full marathon in Missoula, because you get 3 starts, right? So you get to go, you get your adrenaline rush, you got to pace yourself, but you do all 3 races. It's a really cool, unique feature of this event.
And if you have little kids, you got a stroller, you can push that along too, right?
Heck yeah, wheelchairs are welcome, strollers are welcome. Yep. Got them all. Just no dogs. We can't have dogs.
No dogs. 2,500 people. You can leave the dog at home. You can take him on a trail run afterwards.
Yep, exactly.
If you'd like to sign up for this, taking sign-ups right now on the YMCA Missoula website. It's ymcamissoula.org/riverbank-run. You can just Google Riverbank Run. That's what you're going to do anyways.
Yeah.
You don't have to memorize the address. But enrollment is open right now, so get yourself in and get the early enrollment deal and start training. Anything else people need to know about this?
I think just a huge shout out to Missoula for being awesome, supporting healthy living and supporting our running community and our families, keeping things fun and accessible. And we love that Missoula shows up for this Riverbank Run event. It means a lot to the Y.
Well, very cool, and certainly an annual event, which is worth supporting. So if you can, want to sign up to be a volunteer or participant or anything in between, again, just ymcamissoula.org. You can find your way through from there, or just Google Riverbank Run in Missoula, and it's coming up on April 25th. Carrie, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate those fine folks for always coming in, and it's for a great cause. I was just talking to Hayden behind the glass about this. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows about the YMCA just for facilitating activities, a communal space to go, do healthy things like swim and play basketball, ride the bike, all that sort of stuff. That's all great. The YMCA also gives back so much to the community, and there's a lot of studies that have been done, including one that was commissioned by the Missoula Y, just about how if you keep kids engaged in community, in activities, and they have something to do. I mean, I know a lot of you have kids that get out of school sometime between 2:30 and 3:45. and you don't get done with work till 5:30 or 6. So what do the kids do a lot of that time? Having somewhere to go and like having a place to go do things and be in a healthy environment and all that stuff, that's it's not just important for individuals, but it's important for communities, because then the kids are going to just be more safe. They're going to feel more safe, more structure, more productive, all these different things, right? And that's what the YMCA does in communities, is they give that opportunity, and they try to give it to almost anybody. And so that's a cool thing, and that's what this Riverbank Run, it's a great way to get together with your community, but also it's a great way to raise some money for the YMCA, and they do so many great things, not just in this community, but in communities all across the United States. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, Hour 1 in the books, Hour 2 coming at you. 3 awesome stories coming your way. Track and field, if you listen to the show often, you know I love it. I love track and field. Carson Bites has one of the great track stories I've heard in recent years. He's a walk-on. He's the last guy on the roster out of Missoula Sentinel. And then several years later, he's now a Big Sky Conference champion in the 200 meters. Carolyn Hawks, she has been chasing the 2 most prolific and accomplished 400-meter runners in the history of the conference. She got it done in the 400 on behalf of Montana State. And Callie Wilson is one of the great breakout stars I've seen in the league in a long time. She's a freshman at Montana. She broke the school record in the 200-meter dash, the first time she ever ran it at the college level. Then she won the gold medal in that event. She also won the gold in the 60 meters. She's the first young lady in the history of track to sweep those at indoors. Pretty dang impressive for a freshman from Bonnie Lake, Washington. We'll hear from Bites, Hawks, and Wilson in hour number 2. Don't change that dial. Keep it right here. You're listening to Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio.
Missoula, get ready for a massive weekend of conference lacrosse. Your University of Montana lacrosse team is defending home turf at Washington Grizzly Stadium. It all starts Friday night at 6 as the Grizz battle Gonzaga under the lights. Then action continues Saturday at noon against Central Washington and wraps up Sunday at high noon with another huge conference showdown against Idaho. General admission tickets are available at the gate, and University of Montana students get in free. Feel the intensity, bring the noise, go Grizz.
Dr. Tim here from Montana Imaging Center. Healthcare costs are changing, and many hospital MRI and CT scan prices have gone way up this year. Before you schedule imaging, you should compare your options and ask what it'll cost you. At Montana Imaging Center, patients save hundreds, even thousands of dollars with better technology and board-certified radiologists. Your images and reports are delivered instantly and securely to the hospital providers across the region, so your provider gets everything they need right away. You do have a choice. Take control of your healthcare costs. Call to set up your appointment today. MontanaImaging.com.
Bees buzzing, flowers blooming, snow melting, and spring cleaning or updating? Liberty Electric is here for any and all of your electrical needs, no matter the season. Whether you're looking to upgrade your air conditioner for the summer, invest in a backup generator for those powerless nights due to storms, or need that lighting upgraded to LED, the professionals at Liberty Electric are ready to offer their services. Call 406-541-WIRE. That's 406-541-9473.
The wait is over. Grizzly Disposal is now offering no sort recycling. No more sorting and dragging it across town. They'll get it right from your house. Cans, cardboard, and plastic all in one bin. Handled by Grizzly Disposal. Visit grizzlydisposal.com to add on recycling to your plan or to switch over to Grizzly Disposal today. Give them a call, 541-7171. That's 541-7171. The best trash removal service in town just got better. Grizzly Disposal, the only bears that should be in your garbage.
Cold weather cravings? The Montana Club has got you covered with scratch-made comfort food to match every craving. From perfectly grilled steaks to satisfying salads, they're ready to handle your hunger. So grab a table with a reservation or keep it casual and order delivery straight to your door. Great food made easy. Visit MontanaClub.com to order or reserve and come warm up at your Montana Club. Brooks and North Reserve, Missoula.
Dive. The legacy of former submariners is with the crew of SSN 794.
Ron Larson, Electrician's Mate Chief. USS Stang, 1977 to 1980. I've had the pleasure of meeting the captain and crew members of the USS Montana. Very qualified.
The technology is different. The respect is the same. For more, browse the news page blogs at ussmontanacommittee.us.
ESPN Radio for Western Montana, KKVU HD3 Stevensville, and 102.9 FM on K275BS Missoula. ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The Vikings and the Vandals showed up outright Big Sky Conference championships on Monday night as both league title races came down to the wire. Hello, I am Hayden Smith. In Big Sky Conference women's basketball, Idaho showed up at least a share of the Big Sky title with a win on Saturday. But the Vandals needed Monday's 75-64 win over Eastern Washington to secure the outright conference crown and the number 1 seed in next week's conference tournament. The Vandals head to Boise riding a 15-game winning streak. Idaho finished 17-1 in league play, a game ahead of defending champion Montana State. The Bobcats finished at 16-2 after a 66-48 win over Northern Arizona. Taylor Church racked up 7 steals in the victory to tie the Big Sky single-season record with 124 thefts this year. In Big Sky men's hoops, Portland State snapped a 3-game losing streak with an 84-60 home win over Weber State. The Vikings finished 13-5 in league play, ahead of Montana State. The Bobcats won 76-65 at Northern Arizona to make PSU's nightcap interesting. The Montana men got drilled on Monday night, coming out on the wrong end of an 85-57 loss to Northern Colorado. That means the Grizz and Northern Colorado play on Monday at the Big Sky Tournament at 5:30 p.m. Montana State's men await the winner of Idaho and Sac State on Sunday. The Montana State women play Sunday against the winner of Northern Arizona and Montana. And the Lady Grizz get the 8th seed after a 59-57 loss to Northern Colorado Monday at home.
Nuanez Now on ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. Colter Nuanez coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal Studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company. If you'd like to make the switch to locally owned waste management today, call 406-541-7171. That's 406-541-7171. Grizzly Disposal, locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only Bears that should be in your garbage. Missing in the first hour of the show, ton of prep talk for you, ton of Big Sky Conference bracket reveal. We also did the State AA play-in games, gave you the schedule for that. Also highlighted some of the top storylines from A, B, and C, Treasure State Stars, and we heard from Kerry McHugh from the Riverbank Run as well. All of it on the Nuanez Now podcast, which is available on all your podcast hosting platforms. Please rate, review, subscribe. Appreciate you for doing so. Also, click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. We're trying to get as many subscribers as possible for a variety of reasons, but it's a good way for us to just gauge interest and analytics and things like that. It's a fun way to engage with you because you can comment there, you can talk to us, and let us know what you like, what you don't like, and let us know what you want us to talk about. But most of all, click on that subscribe button there on the YouTube. The Big Sky Conference Track and Field Championships played out over the weekend in Pocatello. We've highlighted several of the athletes recently. The 2 shot put throwers from Montana State we highlighted last week, Cindy Brewster, Easton Hadelberg, they both won their shot put championships. So they held serve, so to speak. A couple of the other young people we've been talking about quite a bit, they rose up and really had a killer meet, including our next guest. He is a Missoula product, a walk-on at the University of Montana, who then became a conference champion. It's a great story, and I was hoping that he would win a conference championship so we'd have an opportunity to share it. We were going to share this story anyways, but the fact that he got a conference championship, pretty darn cool. Well, championship season in indoor track and field, and Grizz track team back from a great weekend in Pocatello, Idaho. They had a handful of Big Sky Conference indoor champions, including the young man who joins us next, Carson Bites. He's a Missoula Sentinel product and the 200-meter champion in the Big Sky Conference. Carson, thanks for joining us, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Happy to have you. First of all, you got to tell us just about the overall performances, because Montana track and field, 3rd place in both the team competitions. I've covered Big Sky track for a long time, and the Grizz were always sort of right there in the middle, and then had a little bit of a fall, and then you guys have sort of rebuilt this thing and got it back to being really competitive. So what's gone into that? How have you guys been able to make the the team's competition so much more fruitful for Montana?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see the growth of the team. When I showed up as a freshman, I think we got 4th or 5th. The women got 9th my freshman year indoor. And then Doug recruiting young talent on top of just him, like, he challenged us just to work harder, buy into what his coaching is and like what like it means to be a Grizz. And as you've seen since 2024 to now, every year the team has gotten stronger in all areas. We're firing. And that's why I think we have gotten so much better as a team.
Well, Coach Fraley has such a great background in track and field in general, but specifically sprints and pole vaulting, and I think that's directly reflected in how good you guys have been in both those events since he's gotten there. So you as a sprinter, what have you learned from him and the coaching staff that's really helped you elevate and maximize your potential?
I would say you could tell he's been around track his whole entire life. So all of the background knowledge that he has, the workouts he has us doing, the mindset that for me has been a big issue I've always struggled with is like confidence and where my head was at. But just how he coaches and how we will have conversations to get in the right mindsets on top of doing all the right things, getting on a good diet, I think has just overall made me that much of a better athlete and a better sprinter.
The science part is so interesting, right? Like the way that you can sort of not just train, but like almost mold your own body, right? Like everything from rest and recovery to what you eat to how you sleep. I mean, all that stuff goes into it. So, I mean, how much do you guys pay attention to that? How much do you think that's sort of helped you elevate your performances?
I mean, our strength coach, Coach Rockford, he always is preaching about recovery and doing the right things in the weight room, but also just as important as doing the right things on the track and in the weight room is what you're doing outside of it. So we, this year we have like a nutritionist, Shelby. She's awesome. She makes us shakes after, she'll make like snacks and stuff that we can have before or after, which is huge because getting the right nutrition. Sometimes it's hard with the busy schedule of being a student athlete. And so that's huge on top of the recovery rooms, and what Zach, our trainer, does for us as well. All of that plays a factor in showing up to the championships and being on your A game.
Carson Bites joining us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. He is a sprinter who recently just had a great performance at the Big Sky Indoor Track and Field Championships in Pocatello. What'd you think of just that part? I know you guys went to Pokey twice in a row, so did that help you just feel more comfortable? Did you, first of all, were you one of the guys that did go to Pocatello the 2 weeks before championships?
Yes, I did.
So how much more comfortable did that make you feel, just being in that arena and sort of knowing what to expect with, because that's an unorthodox arena, right? It's old, but it can get loud. It's pretty cool in there when they have a championship event, but the wood track is different too. So did it help you feel just sort of more comfortable to have been there before?
Oh yeah. Like going to other indoor tracks and just other outdoor tracks in general, they're all pretty similar, whether it's a bank or a flat, like they're all made out of the same stuff. You know what to expect. But I've never shown up to a place and been like totally, like I've seen videos of it on Instagram and stuff, but once you're actually there and you're on the track, it is just so much different. So Doug just told us we need to not have any like negative mindsets about it. We're going to go here 2 weeks before the conference meet so everyone can run on it and, like feel it out. And the first time I ran the 200 on that track, because the 60 meters are usually pretty, like, it's just a straight, like it's not going to be that much different, but the 200 for sure, just made out of different stuff and like different dimensions of the 200 meter track. The first time I ran on it, I think I ran 21:99, so pretty much 22 seconds. And I ran like slow and scared, and like the next day was the finals of it, and I ran like 21:06. I was still running like scared and timid, and I slipped on one of the corners. And so to go there and have that experience to where I could come back 2 weeks later and just know what the track is about and run like free was huge, because if that was my first time showing up to that track, there's no way that any of us probably would have had the success that we did.
Well, you guys had so much success and you know, broke multiple school records. So like when you go and you get that gold medal in the 200 meters, like what's that feel like?
It was, one of the craziest feelings I've ever had in my life. Last year at Flagstaff, I missed out on the gold in the 200 by like 0.02. And then this year I ran in the first heat because I qualified like 4th overall, and I dropped that time. And then I realized, I was like, why isn't Doug like celebrating? Like that was a really good time. And then I realized there was another heat coming onto the track. And I was so nervous because last year I lost by that much. And I was like, am I about to watch someone just walk on and just take that away again? And the time that popped up on the screen, mine was a second slower, like a millisecond slower. So I thought it was going to convert even slower. And then when that popped up, oh my gosh, I jumped up in the air. I looked at Doug, he's jumping up in the air. It was one of the most surreal moments because ever since I got here, I didn't know how I would be and like how track would be. And to go from that to just buying into it and winning a conference championship is crazy.
We got to tell people more about that part, right? Carson Bites joined us, a Missoula Sentinel product. You didn't even know if you wanted to do track and field, right? And then all of a sudden you decided you were going to last minute. Coach Fraley told the story on the show here a couple weeks ago. He said you were the last guy that they recruited, the last spot on the roster. But now you've maximized it. So what was the tipping point? Like, what was the thing that first of all made you want to do it, and then second of all that kept you doing it to get to this level?
So my coach in high school, Dylan Reynolds, he used to run for the Grizz. And he always told me that if I wanted to and put my mind to it, he thought that I could be a really good college runner. And I was like, oh yeah, being a sprinter in college would be cool. But I didn't really believe in myself too much. And at the end of my senior year, I put down definitely nothing close to what people are running now to go D1 in track. But I put down pretty decent times at the state meet. And I texted Doug and I was like, hey, this is what I ran. Wonder what you think of that. And I didn't hear from him for like a month or two. And then, I got a phone call from him and he asked if I wanted to come here and run track. And I thought about it for probably a whole 10 seconds. And I was like, not many people get that opportunity, especially like that. And so I took it. And even my freshman year, before I even ran, I didn't have high hope. Like there were so many other kids coming in with way faster times than me and like it seemed like way better athletes than me. But I just stayed persistent and kept training. And I got a few opportunities to run early, and actually put down some pretty respectable times. And then once I realized, I was like, okay, like I actually have like some potential in this and like my times are going down. That's what really made me like buy into it. And now we're here.
Was there a moment that you realized that you had like potential in this? I mean, obviously you knew you were a good athlete, but like, is there a moment you thought, wow, I actually could become like a champion in track and field?
I wouldn't say my freshman year. My freshman year, I put down some pretty good times, but I got like 6th in the 200. And then last year, getting 2nd in the 200 in outdoor conference. tweaking my hamstring and it just not really going how I envisioned it to go. This year when I started training again, and once we got through our first meet and then it was Christmas break, something was clicking, and something has been clicking all of this indoor season that I've never felt before. I just felt like such of a stronger runner than I have. And I was doing all the right things in practice and lift. And Doug was really pleased with the way I was training. And especially as I was putting down times this season, and I was there in the top 4 or 5 guys in both of my events. Once you get to conference and you're in that position, anything can happen. You just got to go out there and put down the best you got. And
what's the mental? That's why I love track, because to win, you have to perform your best in the biggest moment, right? You can win a basketball game not playing very well if things go your way, or if you just play harder than the other team or whatever. You have to run your best race to win a championship in track. So what's going through your mind before that? How do you sort of lock in and get the best out of yourself in the biggest moment?
Me and Doug talked before, and he's just you've been doing all these right things every meet and every rep in practice. Every time you've been running amazing. You don't need to go out there and overthink it. Go out there and just put your best effort into it, and I guarantee you good things will happen. And so I went out there in the 60, and I just ran how I've ran all season, and I knew I was close to popping a 6.6 something. And just that championship environment and against those fast guys, that's when those things happen. And then in the 200, honestly, I was not expecting as fast as the time as I ran. I knew I had it in me. But Doug told me, because the day before I ran, I sort of I didn't get out as hard as I wanted to, and sort of came into the race in the second half. And he was just telling me, assert yourself earlier in the race. And so when I was sitting there in the blocks before the gun went off, I just told myself I need to assert myself and I need to get out. There's no reason to hold anything back. If I hold stuff back, I'm going to be a lot more pissed off after than if I go out there and run as hard as I can and lose that way. So when that gun went off, I got out of there and gave it everything I had.
Well, pretty gratifying then to probably see the time and stand on top of the podium as well. So how do you sort of parlay this momentum into outdoor season now? Because it's no rest for the weary. You guys hit the ground running here pretty quick. So how do you sort of keep it going here with the spring season on the horizon?
Obviously you got to be proud of yourself for what you did indoor. But it's that short-term memory, get back into the routines that put you in spots to be successful indoor. Eat the right things, get enough sleep, train hard, all of those things. And I have full faith in Doug that he'll put us in the right positions to do the same thing outdoor.
Carson Bites here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. The Big Sky Indoor Track and Field Championships in the books, and there were several champions from the Montana Grizzlies. Carson, congratulations again, man. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and maybe we'll catch up during outdoor season. But in the meantime, good luck with all that, and thanks so much for spending some time here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Carson Bites here on this Tuesday. Big Sky Conference champion in the 200 meters. For the University of Montana, who got third place on both the women's and men's sides of the Big Sky Indoor Championships. On the Montana State side, runner-up finishes for each of the Bobcat track teams. The women just 29 points behind Northern Arizona, which is gaining some serious ground, and they might be able to overtake that in outdoor season, especially if their javelin throwers can rise up. That's an event that's added for the outdoor season only, so we'll certainly keep tabs on that. a triumph for one of the top 400-meter runners in the conference. She has never won a conference championship until this last weekend. Here's the story. Our Big Sky Indoor Track and Field Championship coverage continues. Checking in now with Montana State Track and Field. Caroline Hawks, one of the 6 Big Sky Conference champions indoors for the Bobcats this last weekend. She took home the title in the 400 meters. Carolyn, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it, and congratulations on the title again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
First of all, you mentioned it right before we went on here, but you've been waiting for this one for a long time. Certainly put a lot of sweat and tears into this one. So just take us through it when you actually crossed the finish line. You know you got the gold medal. What was that feeling like? And just take us through sort of the journey to get there.
For sure. I was honestly really shocked. I went into that race obviously wanting to do well in PR, but I mostly just wanted to win, and that was my goal going in. I wasn't really concerned about the time. I just wanted to beat people and get a gold medal and get the 10 points for the team. And I'm a really competitive person, so fortunately that worked out. But the conference in the 400 for the last few years has been really, really competitive. There's been 2 Northern Arizona girls that I've been competing against for 3 years now, and they have the conference record. They are like so fast. They graduated. Last year we had 3 girls under 53 seconds. I got second place. I've gotten second place 4 times now. And so now that they were graduated, I've been really excited to have a chance to win. I was competing against a Montana girl as well as 2 of my own teammates. And so I was just really excited to get out there, have a chance to win, do well, and it worked out amazing. I PR'd, I broke a school record. So I was really, really happy.
And the fact that you had so many other teammates having great performances as well. I know that's one thing Coach Weiss has really emphasized is the team element of track and field. How much did that sort of spur you on and motivate you? And what was it like just being a part of that collection of outstanding athletes that all did so well this last weekend?
It's been so amazing. I'm like so grateful for my career here and for the team. I genuinely don't think that there's a team like this in any other school in the whole U.S. Like having coaches that care about you as a person and in your performance, and then teammates. The women's team is so talented, so supportive, so positive, and I think that was really displayed this weekend. People, in a competition setting, you're not always going to do like you want, but the women's team was just like so positive and supportive across the board, and then especially in the 400, I had my own teammates that I was competing with, and we also are on the relay team, which we've made it to nationals last year, so we're used to pretty high caliber, I think, and good competition. And I think that's really made us closer and hopefully gotten us to where we are now.
Caroline Hawks joined us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. She is the Big Sky Conference indoor champion in the 400 meters. Tell me about the relay, too, because, you guys had some great performances all season long into the championship meet as well. So tell me about your team and just the way that the relays were able to perform so well as well.
Yeah, our relay, it's like we always say it's like the love of our life. It's so fun in an individual sport to have a chance to compete with your teammates and to really just get out there all together. Last year, we qualified for nationals at the regional meet in Texas, so at Texas A&M, and we got 21st at nationals. And this year we finished, I think like a week ago, we were 19th in the country with 3 minutes and 32 seconds. So it's been so amazing. It's been like everything that more than I could have ever dreamed, honestly, because it's really fun in track to get PRs on your own and to go out and compete, but to be able to do that with your best friends that you're training with so hard every single day, it's really, really special. And so we're really proud of what we've been able to do.
What, other than just the fact that you sort of came to the peak at the right time, like what else do you attribute to getting there? Like what are some of the things that went into your training and your mentality and all that sort of stuff that helped you sort of get over the top and get the gold?
I think it's a lot of mental toughness. The 400 is I'm biased, but I would argue it's one of the harder events to compete and train for. No. It's one lap, so you're like sprinting basically as fast as you can, but for an extended period of time. So you're running out of oxygen, your body can't make enough energy, and so it's making lactic acid. And so training for that means getting to that lactic acid point and learning how to do really well under that state. So I think it takes a lot of mental toughness to be able to train well under that, and a lot of support from teammates as well. I think that's maybe why I've been able to do so well. I think I am pretty mentally tough from that standpoint. Track is really special because in the running events, there's no implements, there's no ball, there's no strategy. It's just how much you can push your own body. And in practices, that means you have to bring the intensity and honestly the perfection every single day to practices. You're trying to improve your own body by small percentages.
Well, that's what fascinates me about track so much is there is so much science behind it, but also it's a win or lose sport, right? Like when it's championship, you either win or you don't, and that is it. So like you have to be able to perform at the top of your powers, like in that exact, in that moment, in that 1 minute where you're running the 400 meters. So that's so cool. What were you thinking about right before the race began? Like what was going through your mind in the blocks?
We have a sports psychologist on campus. His name is Coop. And we've been talking with him about being an alpha, how in your mind there's an alpha and a beta part of your brain. And if you're not intentionally trying to be the alpha, then you're letting the beta win. And so I think that kind of just goes into the mental toughness. But I was going into that thinking like, I can do this. I am strong. I can win. You really have to stay on top of it in the race mentally because physically you can do it. I've shown that I can do it in training. I just needed to stay on top of my mental toughness. So I was just thinking alpha, be the alpha.
I love that. It's a great mental message to yourself, certainly. Caroline Hawks joining us here on Nuanez Now. You mentioned just how grueling the 400 can be. How did you first get into it? Like, what's the thing that made you say, okay, I'm going to invest my athletic energy into this event?
We always say the 400 kind of chooses you. No one like really seeks out the 400, I don't think. But in high school, I came from soccer and I've never really had like that initial like off the line speed that maybe 100 runners or 60 meter runners have. And I just really have done well under like that sprint endurance. And so I got into it in high school. I loved it because there is a little more strategy than, a 100 or a 200. You're going like a little bit slower, but then it's not a distance event. And I hate jogging. I hate long distance running. So I love the 400. I love how competitive it is. I love how challenging it is. I really love, honestly, putting myself through difficult things to prove that I can do it.
Well, certainly awesome. Tell me about your path to Montana State. Actually, one of my roommates in college years ago, he was from San Clemente as well. So
really?
Yeah. Oh beautiful place. How did you make your way to Bozeman? When did Montana State first land on your radar?
I just emailed when I was in my junior year of high school. I emailed all of the schools on the West Coast. I know I wanted to go to the West Coast. My dad was like, "You should apply to Montana State University. Like, I've heard Bozeman is like super cool. Like, it's a small mountain town." I was like, "That sounds pretty awesome." So, I reached out and I got in contact with the track coach at the time, and I went on a visit, and I just loved it. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to go out of state, maybe see the mountains a little bit more than Southern California, where I'm from. And I just loved like the culture of Montana. I love how everyone really is loyal to each other and loyal to the state. And everyone was so kind. And I really loved being in a town where I knew I could make a difference and in a conference that really seemed to prioritize the actual goals of college athletics.
That part has been so fun for me to follow about Big Sky Conference track, because I would say that I think that track and field is the highest level of sport that exists in the Big Sky Conference right now. Certainly Montana State has great rodeo and ski teams, but not everybody has those. But I mean, you're talking like national caliber track teams right now in the Big Sky on both the men's and the women's side. Northern Arizona's obviously pushed that envelope. But tell me about that part, because the fact that you guys have been able to close the gap on NAU has been so impressive. I think for a lot of years, people thought that was an unclosable gap, right? Like NAU's just going to win forever. But this last weekend, I think you guys were within 28 or 29 points. So you're right there. How have you guys been able to do that? How much has just their sort of supremacy motivated you guys?
Yeah, track is so special for that reason. That's why I love it, because it's like you don't need to be in a big conference to be against some of the best. Like we have NAU in our conference, but we go to invitationals against USC, UCLA, like all these big schools. So you're exposed to really big teams all the time. But I think with NAU, it's been really, really like special, honestly, to have them, because they push us. They light a fire under us, and they are really good. They're really good in the distance events, especially. But I think that's really pushed us to strengthen our other events. I think we have far more diversity and depth than they do, honestly, across the board. They just have a really, really national caliber distance team. And we do too. And they've really pushed us in that. So I think we're getting there.
Caroline Hawks here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Okay, so how do you turn the page now? Because it's such a whirlwind in indoor because it's so fast. Then you get a little bit more time to breathe and a couple different venues and things like that for outdoor. So how does that shift in your mind, just the mindset of a competitor now going into outdoor season?
Yeah, it's a long season, so you really have to stay on top of it mentally. We get 2 days off, so this is one of my two days off before we go back to practice on Wednesday, which is exciting. But I think you really just have to take it day by day, practice by practice. It really helps that we have such a close-knit team. It keeps things fun, keeps things exciting, and traveling is fun. It's fun to see new places, see new teams. The 400 is definitely different outdoor because it's 1 lap instead of 2. So indoor we are on a 200-meter track, so it's 2 laps. Outdoor it kind of mentally changes because you stay in your lanes the whole time. So that's something that hopefully with this Bozeman weather we'll be able to practice outside on our outdoor track and kind of get adjusted to that. But we're excited.
What are your goals for outdoor track and field?
I would like to run 52 low. Right now I've run 52.8. And I'd like to win conference again in the 400 as well as in the 4x4. And our 4x4 wants to make it to the final round of NCAA. So we would like to be top 8 in the country and hopefully get first team All-American. So we're a couple seconds off from that, and we need to do it on the day, obviously. But that's probably the most exciting goal as the team. And then obviously, like for the women's team, we want to win outdoor conference. I think we were so close this year in indoor, and I think that's getting us excited for what we can do in outdoor.
Well, it'll be here sooner than later, the Big Sky Outdoor Championships this year in Portland, Oregon, and then we'll certainly have coverage of all of that, plus the West Regionals in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and then, of course, the National Championships in Eugene, Oregon as well. Caroline Hawks, a outstanding sprinter, 400-meter runner, and a Big Sky champion joining us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Caroline, thanks for being here. Good to talk to you. Congratulations again, and we appreciate you spending some time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Definitely one of the most brutal races in all of sport. Congratulations to both those Big Sky champions, Carson Bites from Montana, Caroline Hawks from Montana State. One more. How about the breakout freshman of the year? Pretty crazy story. She's one of the greatest sprinters in the history of the conference already, and she's only done 1 season of track. Callie Wilson, our guest next. Keep it right here, 102.9 ESPN Radio. The Press Box is the place to watch all your favorite sports. In the heart of Grizz Country, Press Box has great food and drinks with happy hour and lunch specials every weekday. Don't forget, Press Box has the best happy hour deal in town, Monday through Friday, between 4 and 6, $3 draft beers. That's right, any draft beer at the Press Box, from domestic light beers to IPAs to everything in between, $3 drafts between 4 and 6, Monday through Friday at the Press Box. Press Box also has 2 sports bet machines, so you can always get your bets in before the game starts. The Press Box on Broadway and Van Buren in Missoula.
Oh man, icy roads can be hard on your vehicle, but the pros at Blue Ribbon Auto Body take pride in restoring your car or truck back to pre-accident condition, helping you maintain your investment. Did you know that you have the right to choose your auto body shop for peace of mind? So why choose anything less than Blue Ribbon Work after your fender bender? Blue Ribbon Work from the pros, found only at Blue Ribbon Auto, where your ride is our pride. Cedar Street in Missoula and Thornton Drive by the Y.
What do Missoulians do best? They support their local stores. Come support your local pharmacy at Palmer's Drug. Palmer's Drug is a retail and compounding pharmacy that is the alternative to big box chain pharmacies. You can expect short wait times, free medication shipping, and friendly service at Palmer's Drug. Located at 918 Southwest Higgins in Missoula, Palmer's Drug is the most convenient way to get your prescriptions in the Garden City. Come in and discover how they can serve your pharmacy needs.
Red's Bar is a beloved institution in downtown Missoula. Whether you want to watch a game, enjoy a cold beer, spend time with friendly faces, or simply wind down, the welcoming atmosphere and wonderful staff at Red's will make you feel right at home. Red's features 14 HD TVs and 2 full-service bars. Stop by and grab a beer with friends while you watch your favorite team play, and check out the extensive collection of awesome sports memorabilia. Red's Bar in downtown Missoula, the friendliest sports bar in town.
Imagine
Imagine your child is facing a life-threatening illness, and on top of the fear, you're wondering how you'll afford the gas, the hotel, or even a meal while you travel for treatment. That's where the Jade and Fred Foundation steps in. Born from one Montana family's own journey with childhood cancer, the Jade and Fred Foundation provides direct financial assistance to Montana families whose children must travel for critical medical care. From gas and lodging to basic necessities, they help ease the burden so parents can focus on what matters most, their child. Since 2003, the Jade and Fred Foundation has helped nearly 2,000 Montana families in their hardest moments, making a difference one life at a time. But they can't do it alone. You can help today. Visit jadeandfred.org to make a tax-deductible donation, become a sponsor, or sign up to volunteer at events that support these brave kids and their families. That's JADYNFRED.org, jadeandfred.org, standing with Montana families.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The Vikings and the Vandals sewed up outright Big Sky Conference championships on Monday night as both league title races came down to the wire. Hello, I am Hayden Smith. In Big Sky Conference women's basketball, Idaho sewed up at least a share of the Big Sky title with a win on Saturday. But the Vandals needed Monday's 75-64 win over Eastern Washington to secure the outright conference crown and the number one seed in next week's conference tournament. The Vandals head to Boise riding a 15-game winning streak. Idaho finished 17-1 in league play, a game ahead of defending champion Montana State. The Bobcats finished at 16-2 after a 66-48 win over Northern Arizona. Taylor Church racked up 7 steals in the victory to tie the Big Sky single-season record with 124 thefts this year. In Big Sky men's hoops, Portland State snapped a 3-game losing streak with an 84-60 home win over Weber State. The Vikings finished 13-5 in league play, ahead of Montana State. The Bobcats won 76-65 at Northern Arizona to make PSU's nightcap interesting. The Montana men got drilled on Monday night, coming out on the wrong end of an 85-57 loss to Northern Colorado. That means the Grizz and Northern Colorado play on Monday at the Big Sky Tournament at 5:30 p.m. Montana State's men await the winner of Idaho and Sac State on Sunday. The Montana State women play Sunday against the winner of Northern Arizona and Montana. And the Lady Grizz get the 8th seed after a 59-57 loss to Northern Colorado Monday at home.
It's Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
Welcome back, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. Our coverage of Big Sky Indoor Track and Field continues. The championship was last weekend in Pocatello. Callie Wilson was the Big Sky Indoor Track Athlete of the Week 2 weeks in a row to start this season off. She broke Montana's school record and then broke it again in the 200 meters. By the time she won her second Athlete of the Week, I thought to myself, this is somebody we should have on the show. Then I started researching it. I thought she was a redshirt freshman or a sophomore, and that she was just having a breakout year after, getting her feet underneath her college track. No, she's a true freshman. So those first 2 weeks when she won Big Sky Athlete of the Week, those are her first 2 college track meets ever. That's pretty crazy. So then when I learned this, I was like, instead of getting her on immediately, let's just wait and see how conference goes, because she might be a multiple-time conference champion in her first debut season. That's the truth. I mean, she broke the indoor championship record in the 60 meters and rebroke her school record in the 200 meters. First Montana woman to win in both of those sprints in the same indoor meet ever. Again, she's a true freshman. Here's her story. Nuanez Now 102.9 ESPN Radio. Our coverage of Big Sky Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships continues. We're joined now by one of the breakout stars in the Big Sky Conference this indoor season, Callie Wilson. She's a freshman at Montana. Looks like we're coming to you from the Montana campus. How you doing, Callie?
Yes, I'm doing great. Thank you.
So you're living on campus, obviously?
Yes.
Very good. So how's it been? How's life been adjusting to college and adjusting to the University of Montana?
Well, it's definitely been an experience. It's honestly really fun. The people here are great, and I love all the facilities, so it's been really fun.
Well, very good. And you've had this tremendous freshman year that culminated this last week, and you sweep in the 60 meters and the 200 meters at indoors. I know you had some of the top seeds going in, but just take us through it. What did it take for you to take home gold in both those events this last weekend in Pocatello?
Honestly, that week leading up, I just had to keep myself to not be nervous, stay calm and collected. And I think that really was just like the winning mindset, honestly. I didn't want to psych myself out. I knew what I was capable of. So I knew if I just went there, kept doing what I was doing, that good things were going to happen.
Take us through just the way that you've been able to have this breakout performance so far here early on in your track career. Because, I mean, you come from Bonnie Lake, Washington. First semester, you're probably just training the whole time, right?
Yes, a lot of training.
Oh, so a lot of training. But how do you think that helped you? Because I was looking at your high school times; they were good, but you really improved on a lot of the stuff you had in high school. Yeah. So what do you attribute that to?
Honestly, probably the weight room. I didn't lift at all in high school, so I think that really helped. Even though I'm not lifting too heavy right now, still getting into it. Definitely helped build muscle there, get bigger, faster, stronger. And just the workouts that Coach Fraley has been putting us through, really nothing I've seen before, and has genuinely probably boosted my speed so much.
It seems like I know he's a great coach just overall, but it seems like he's a real guru when it comes to speed training and pole vaulting, right? Those two things, he's just killing it at right now. So, how would you describe what he's taught you just from the sprinting perspective?
I mean, it's so hard to describe, but it's just the little things that I never knows before. No coach has told me about it before. And it's a simple fix that I just do it, and then my times drop so much. Or even just in training, getting the tempo right, the times right, it goes a long way.
Were you what was your mindset coming into your first couple of meets? Because you had it was right away, right? I mean, I think you broke the school record the first time you ever ran the 200 at the collegiate level. So how did you get so mentally ready? You'd think early on, in the first couple of meets, maybe you'd be settling in. That didn't seem to be the case for you.
No, honestly, it all came as a shock. I didn't even know what the school records were coming in. When I first ran that 200, I had no idea I broke the school record. I was just like, oh, that's a fast time. I'm excited to see what I'm going to do next. So it's just been really just go, go, go. I haven't really had a time to sit down, soak it all in and be like, wow, this is actually happening. Yeah.
For sure. And now you probably have a little bit of time to actually soak it in.
Yeah, it's a couple days break, and it's awesome.
Well, super awesome. Kelly Wilson, a Big Sky champion in multiple events at the Big Sky Indoor Track and Field Championship. She's joining us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, as well as SWX Montana Television and the ESPN MT app. How about from a team perspective? What's it been like for you to just be part of this Grizz track team? Because you guys had a great weekend overall on both the men's and the women's side. So what went into that, and what's it been like for you just being part of the team?
I love being a part of the team. This is probably the best team, I think, at any school. Everyone's so supportive. We all push each other to be the best. And if you hear one good thing from another person, they're turn around and there's another good thing from another person. It just keeps going. But the atmosphere when we practice, it's just so good, so uplifting. I don't think I could name one complaint. It's just all good things. Yeah.
Well, you have to tell people about your path to Montana too, right? You got some family ties, right? Mom ran track there, is that right?
Yes, she did.
So very cool. So did you know about the Grizz and Missoula and stuff growing up?
I did. There's a couple pictures of me wearing Grizz hats, Grizz shirts that my mom put me in. But it wasn't until my high school that I really understood that she came here, she ran here, she did really good. And then that kind of fueled my want to go here. And then I came here on my visit and I loved it. She was with me, taking me through all the spots that she was here. She visited all the restaurants, all of that stuff. And I just fell in love with it here. So she's really happy that I came here too.
Well, very cool. Did you get recruited by anybody else coming out of high school?
I did at Western Washington. Their D2 school, Bellingham. And those were the only two visits I took. So I wasn't talking to that many people out of high school.
Interesting, because Bellingham actually reminds me of Missoula, kind of.
Really?
I mean, it's more rainy, but it has similar vibes,
rainy Missoula.
College town, cool stuff going on. There's cool people there for sure.
That's pretty up there. I have a couple friends that go there too, so it's nice.
Well, very good. Well, what's it been like just adjusting to life, in Montana? I mean, I guess first of all, how's school going? What are you studying?
I just switched my major to human biology and medical sciences, so I can eventually hopefully be a forensic scientist. So doing that, and now I'm taking more science classes, has definitely been a hard adjustment, but nothing I can't handle. I mean, we've got the tutors here that really help, all the study jams, and I just love all the resources. So academics has been going pretty well for me.
Well, it's awesome. Certainly, that's probably the hardest part of the transition is the school part, right? Or has been. Yeah. Well, what makes you interested in forensic science? That's sort of a different but cool major.
Right. So I always loved science. I just didn't know exactly which one I wanted to do. So originally coming in, I was environmental science, but I ended up hating that. And then my aunt, she was talking about, you could be a forensic scientist, and it was all a joke. And then I was like, wait, this actually sounds like a good idea. I did some more research, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool career path, and I definitely want to see what it's about.
Well, that's awesome. Well, a cool pursuit, certainly. I have a cousin that has a degree in forensic science from the University of Montana, actually. So
that's awesome.
Very, very cool. And I know she learned a lot, certainly, during her time there. Kelly Wilson joining us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. So what's kept you driven throughout this first year here? Because, I mean, you had such a great start, but then you also had a great finish, too. So how have you stayed motivated, and what were sort of the keys to you peaking this last weekend?
I just wanted to see how fast I could get. I kept setting goals for myself, PRs, and then I kept breaking them. So I have that drive, or like that want for more. And so I'm glad I ended off the season where I did, but going into outdoor, there's definitely that fire still of what can I do? Like, what more can I do?
Yeah. What's that adjustment going to be like? Because this will certainly be like, by the time you get to the end of outdoor, that'll be a lot of track. Probably the longest season you've ever had.
Definitely.
So how do you sort of navigate that, and what are going to be some of the keys to sort of continuing that sustained progression?
Definitely making sure I get my full rest and recovery when I can, because it's going to be a long season. But I mean, I think continue as I'm doing, and I think everything's going to be okay.
Any immediate goals that you have for outdoor track and field when you turn the page to the outdoor season?
Yes, that 200, I really want to break 23 and go 22. I think that's my biggest goal of the season.
That's awesome. Well, certainly we'll be watching along and see how you're doing in the pursuit of that goal, but we appreciate it, and thanks so much for chiming in today. Certainly won't be the last time, but congratulations again on your awesome
Thank you so much.
Kelly Wilson here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. We'll take a break, come back. See you on the other side. Don't change that dial. Keep it right here, 102.9 ESPN Missoula.
Dr. Tim here from Montana Imaging Center. Healthcare costs are changing, and many hospital MRI and CT scan prices have gone way up this year. Before you schedule imaging, you should compare your options and ask what it'll cost you. At Montana Imaging Center, patients save hundreds, even thousands of dollars with better technology and board-certified radiologists. Your images and reports are delivered instantly and securely to the hospital providers across the region, so your provider gets everything they need right away. You do have a choice. Take control of your healthcare costs. Call to set up your appointment today. MontanaImaging.com.
Black Mountain Lawn and Landscaping offers comprehensive yard care services, including lawn mowing, planting, irrigation, landscaping, waterfalls, and hardscaping with a focus on paver patios. Black Mountain Lawn and Landscaping offers customized lawn care programs to revitalize and rejuvenate your lawn to get your landscape beds and gardens ready for the season. Free estimates on sprinkler systems and lawn mowing and yard care services. Visit blackmountainlandscaping.com, call 406-529-0793, or email dave@blackmountainlawns.com.
Bees buzzing, flowers blooming, snow melting, and spring cleaning or updating? Liberty Electric is here for any and all of your electrical needs, no matter the season. Whether you're looking to upgrade your air conditioner for the summer, invest in a backup generator for those powerless nights due to storms, or need that lighting upgraded to LED, the professionals at Liberty Electric are ready to offer their services. Call 406-541-WIRE. That's 406-541-9473.
Missoula, get ready for a massive weekend of conference lacrosse. Your University of Montana lacrosse team is defending home turf at Washington Grizzlies Stadium. It all starts Friday night at 6 as the Grizz battle Gonzaga under the lights. Then action continues Saturday at noon against Central Washington and wraps up Sunday at high noon with another huge conference showdown against Idaho. General admission tickets are available at the gate, and University of Montana students get in free. Feel the intensity, bring the noise, go Grizz.
It's tournament time. Buzzer beaters, underdog stories, and the best deals at Bob Ward's. Get off the couch and into the game at Montana's oldest sporting goods retailer. Baseball gloves, bats and cleats, soccer balls, shin guards, and training gear. Whether you're cutting down nets or cutting across the outfield, Bob Ward's has the gear you need. Discounts on top name brands across every department. Savings in camping, fishing, and everything outdoors. Don't miss your shot. Shop Bob Ward's, sports and outdoors, Montana style.
Hey, it's Colter Nuanez from your favorite daily sports talk show, Nuanez Now, and I want to buy you a meal on your birthday at Paradise Falls. If it's your birthday, head on over to Paradise Falls at 3621 Brook Street, and I will buy you a birthday entree. All you have to do is go into the family-friendly Missoula favorite, present your ID, and the entree is on me. Birthday meals courtesy of Nuanez Now at Paradise Falls, a family-friendly restaurant serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If it's your birthday, head over to Paradise Falls, Missoula's coolest hotspot.
This is Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Radio Missoula.
We're back, 102.9 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. Colter Nuanez coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal Studio. Grizzly Disposal now has one bin recycling. They'll pick it up from your house. If you want to add the service or switch your service in general, visit grizzlydisposal.com or call 406-541-7171. Grizzly Disposal, locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only bears that should be in your garbage. It's Tuesday. That means it's a Tag Tuesday here on Nuanez Now. We got it for you. Text us, 406-888-1029. You want $25 gift card to Tagliari Deli, 406-888-1029. Text it right now, and I'll get you entered in. You can use it on sandwiches. I'm having some tag tomorrow, actually. I have a business meeting. You're just going to pick it up. That's the convenient way to do it. You punch your order in online. They'll have it ready for you right there in the cooler. So I'm just going to leave the office, swing by there, grab it, go to the client's office. Bam, we got lunch. We're having a grand old time. Appreciate Tag for their continued support of Tag Tuesday here on Nuanez Now. Couple news bulletins here as we wind down. First of all, Frontier Conference Tournament. What awesome action in Butte. Last night, as we were broadcasting, the Montana Tech and Dakota State game for the women's side went live, so we got preempted on SWX, but I was watching, and Tech was getting drilled on their home floor. The tournament was in Butte, even though Dakota State was the number one seed, and Dakota State was up 20 when I left the studio, about halftime. Tech came all the way back, and a newly minted local hero there in Butte, Brooke Badanovich. She is from Butte Central. She nailed a three as time was about to expire, and the Tech women win to get the auto bid out of the Frontier Conference into the national tournament. Pretty cool. We are efforting Jeff Graham, the head coach of Montana Tech women's basketball, as well as Brooke Badanovich to be on the show here later on this week. Then on the men's game, Rocky Mountain got to the tournament championship, by hitting like a three-quarter court heave at the buzzer to beat Montana Tech. Then they go to overtime with Montana State Northern, and Trayson Gillott, he missed a half-court heave that would have won it for Northern. Instead, Rocky wins in overtime. So they get away with a last-second buzzer beater and an overtime win, but they are the Frontier Conference champions. What a story out of Billings. That's also pretty darn impressive. Tomorrow, Samuel Kim will join us to go through a whole bunch of FCS talking points. We'll also hear from Justin Angle for the first time in a little while. And we'll also have a Grizz post-practice interview and whatever else we can get to. We appreciate you for hanging out with us. Please join us each day at 4 p.m. And we'll see you at 4 tomorrow. This has been Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio.